Adani Group Chairman Gautam Adani, who is expected to take charge of airport and energy sector operations in Kenya, charged in the US over massive fraud as Energy CSOPO&I defends the deal. Tensions rise in Kericho County Assembly as the Speaker Patrick Mutai faces impeachment threats. And job seekers urged to get certified skills as 20,000 people are set to fly abroad in a national job recruitment program. And to start us off, President William Ruto is today expected to address the nation this afternoon. The State of the Nation address is an obligation of the Constitution that requires Ruto to update Parliament on 3 key issues, among them national security. The President is also obligated to appraise legislature on all the measures taken by his administration and the progress achieved in the realization of the national values. Let's now link up with our reporter, Daniel Karuki, who is covering the event from Parliament. Good afternoon, Karuki. What's the latest from Parliament?
Good afternoon to you, Noah. Back in studio. Here in Parliament, it's just preparations for the State of the Nation address that is going to be happening from 2:30 p.m. President William Ruto is expected to arrive here exactly 2:30 p.m. and straight go to have a guard of honor before he proceeds to the Speaker's office to sign the visitor's book, and then join members of Parliament, rather make his way into the National Assembly's chamber where the joint sitting is going to be taking place. And of course, the 2 speakers of the bicameral Parliament, that is the National Assembly, as well as the Senate, are going to be escorting President William Ruto into the chambers. And then later on, he is, of course, expected to be invited to make his State of the Nation address. It is his second State of the Nation address, and it's the 3rd time he will be addressing Parliament. The first time he addressed Parliament was when he officially opened the 13th Parliament, then the first State of the Nation last year, 2023, and of course, this second State of the Nation in 2024. Variety of issues that he's going to be talking about that have been raised in the recent days, including matters to do with health. Remember, there is the shift that has caused back and forth between the government and the Kenyans, as well as leaders in the religious leaders, as well as leaders across the political divide, and also matters to do with education and other issues such as the funding, the university funding, and some of the issues to do with affordable housing. Remember, this is one of the agenda, or rather one of the issue, one of the most flagship project of President William Ruto that he has been pushing. So he will, of course, bring the members of Parliament to speed with the latest on matters to do with the affordable housing, and also matters to do with the economy. Remember, when he took over the reins of power in the year 2022, President William Ruto promised Kenyans to turn around the economy of the country. And so he'll be bringing, or he'll be giving us the preview on the matters to do with economy and how far he has managed to change these. Remember, there has been several changes here and there to try to resuscitate the economy that they said they found it at the death bed. And definitely, of course, again, matters to do with politics might also be addressed in his speech. Remember, this is coming the backdrop of the impeachment of the deputy president, former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, and having a new deputy president, and how Parliament actually worked on it, and how Parliament carried itself in matters to do with such kind of matters. Definitely, he will talk about the broad-based government, because all these have happened after his State of the Nation, the first State of the Nation. This has happened this year, the 2024. So definitely, we will be here to keep the viewer updated until when President William Ruto will be making his way here at the Parliament buildings, and I shall be engaging some of the leaders here on the matters and expectations this afternoon. But for now, let me hand it back to Noah in studio. Over to you, Noah.
Thank you very much, Daniel Karuki. With that update, actually, you've mentioned one of the key areas that the government is expected, the president rather, is expected to address is matters to do with education. And talking about higher learning, University and Academic Staff Union, that is UASU, are now demanding 9.7 billion shillings before calling off the strike. The government had offered 4.3 billion, but the union demands a written agreement on how the balance will be paid before they can agree to call off the strike.
Report me. I accepted 4.3, but we must be told how we are going to be paid 5.4. Which deal did I accept? Which deal?
SG, you said that you're going to take the 4.3.
I'm taking 4.3 billion. But we must be told how we get 5.4. As we speak, we have not been told. So how did we accept the deal? My mind is very clear. They bring 4.3 billion and they must tell us how we are going to get 5.4 billion. As we speak, we have not been told how we are going to get the balance of 5.4 billion. So which deal have I accepted?
Students are suffering, SG.
I'm also suffering. My members are also suffering. I'm also a student. You want me to give you my ID? I'm also a student. My members are also suffering. Clause 8 includes the following items. We were supposed to budget for car loan and mortgage. We were supposed to budget for promotion of lecturers. We were supposed to budget for recruitment of additional lecturers. We were supposed to harmonize allowances earned by lecturers in public universities. Those ones, they are not talking about them. They are silent. Therefore, there is no deal. Let members of Academic Staff Union know, so far, there is no deal. Continue with the strike.
Thank you, SJ.
Umesikia?
Umesikia, SJ.
Don't misreport me. There's no deal.
Well, that is UASU's leadership, and the key words take away from them is that there is no deal. They say 4.3 billion shillings has been offered, but the big question they're raising, where is the 5.4 billion? What is the plan in regards to how they'll get the 5.4 billion shillings? So as it stands, the strike, lecturer strike to be specific, is still on. But let's move to Homa Bay, where actually our reporter Levis Musimba has been seeking the views of Kenyans in regards to what they expect the president to focus on when it comes to State of the Nation address. Let's listen in.
Today we expect the president to be addressing the nation about the state of the nation, how various sectors are performing. And I'll be talking to the fisherfolk community, where Homa Bay fisheries sector is one of the key sectors that generates revenue for this county. So I'll speak to the chairman. Mr. Patrick is the chairman of the beach management unit here, and will tell us how, Mr. Patrick, if you can join me, hali ya uchumi imekuwaje na je serikali imetekeleza yale mliotarajia kama wakazi wa Homa Bay? Do you feel the government has fulfilled the promise it made?
Yeah, the government has already fulfilled the promise.
Wewe kama mvuvi, kama chairman, ni changamoto gani mnapitia hapa na una expect rais leo anapo zungumza aguzie nini kama nyi wavuvi?
Na expect to president kutengenezea banders, markets, especially the modern fish banders with cold storages. Yes. And modern fish markets for the traders. Yeah. Then second to that, we would like the president to assist us to get patrol boats. Yeah, to assist our fishermen in the water during rainy season like this season.
What's the main challenge you as a youth, you're once a fisherman, and thereafter you left, you are now doing other things. What is your expectation as the president will be addressing the country in the afternoon?
The challenges in Nsakuwa nayo ni unapata kuna wenye mnapigwa kwa nini kwa lake.
Yes.
kuna watu wenye wanakuja patrol lakini hawana permit ya kupatrol. So wanakuja tu na maua wanawapiga na hata hakuna kitu umewafanyia.
You are a youth. What is your expectation during the president's address in the evening?
My expectation for the president, nataka atuprovide na coolers yenye tunaweza weka samaki, atuletee hizo life jacket, nataka tukizama kwa maji tunaweza toka.
Do you feel that the president has delivered to what he promised during the campaign?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't at all. Hata hakuna wa youths wako tu nje. Hawana job, hakuna kitu.
All right, very, very important to get the views of different subsectors in our economy. And there we have the fishing subsector. They say the issue of cold storage is a big one for them. Talk about boats and modern fish markets. All right, now we want to take a short break. But when we come back, we have Fred Kagonye updating us on the latest when it comes to matter security. Remember, it's a thematic issue when it comes to State of the Nation address, but also it's an actual issue today in Parliament buildings. That and many more after this break. And we are still following up on matters to do with State of the Nation address. And one of the key elements on the ground is the issue of security, because it is absolutely important. Right now I can see our very own reporter Fred Kagonye is outside the Parliament buildings. And Fred, I can see at the back there is presence of police from where you stand. How's the status of security down there?
Thank you very much. We are coming to you live from the intersection, or rather roundabout, of City Hall and Parliament Road. And as you can see behind me, there's a police vehicle that has been used to barricade Parliament Way to try to prevent people from, using that road to wherever they are going. But a closer outlook of the CBD as a whole is that today we have seen, security has been beefed up since morning. From when we were updating our viewers at around 9 a.m., we were doing it from the intersection of Moi Avenue and Kenyatta Avenue, and behind us at that time was a police lorry that had police officers. But we spotted a number of police officers who are doing patrols here in the CBD in anticipation for demonstrators who might want to come and express their feelings and also exercise their constitutional duty and to tell the government how they really feel about how affairs of this country are being run. But today, when you look at the CBD as a whole, the businesses are running as usual. People are going about their businesses as usual. The only thing that is unusual is the kind of security that today Kenyans in Nairobi CBD are enjoying, which is not normally the thing that we see on a day-to-day basis. But from morning, we've not seen protesters. We've been keeping watch in different roads, in different streets of the CBD, but we've not seen any protesters trying to march or picket for that matter. And one of the reasons why we came here is we believe, or we have reason to believe that some of the protesters, if at all they are here in the CBD, they might want to disrupt the procession, or rather the entourage and the vehicles that the president will use to make his way to Parliament. It will be remembered that today he is set to give the State of the Nation address and tell Kenyans how we are doing, and for most and for actually a majority of Kenyans, we're not doing well in terms of taxes, and those are among the issues that were being articulated on social media, majorly on X, when people were calling out on all Kenyans to come out today and to join in the protest. But today we've not seen that yet. Maybe it will happen. The State of the Address is supposed to be in a few hours' time, so we are waiting to see what will happen. No.
I mean, Fred, under normal circumstances, especially looking at the previous State of the Nation address by President William Ruto is fast, comparing that situation with today, that air within the CBD. Is there a difference? Are people just moving on with their business as usual? Or is there a different feeling to it as per your judgment?
As is always the norm, any State of the Nation address attracts interest from Kenyans because they want to hear how the country is doing from the perspective of government. Because from their own perspective, they already know where the shoe pinches the most. But today, we can tell there's some slight difference in terms of police presence. So, like I said, the security here today has been beefed up, which is not normally the case. Not on every day will you pass along Parliament Road and you find it barricaded the way it is today, not unless it's the day where the budget is being read, and today, which is the State of the Nation address. On normal days, this road is accessible to each and every Kenyan, but today it's not. But the air around the CBD, it is calm, yes, but you can feel there's some sort of difference between yesterday and today being Thursday, and maybe tomorrow how it will be. But looking at, from when we began covering this protest in June and July, the anti-tax demos, you could tell each and every Tuesday and Thursday there was some slight difference in terms of businesses being closed and all that. Today, yes, businesses are open, people are going about their businesses as usual, but that sort of police presence is what is the difference between maybe yesterday and the day before that and today. No.
And before I let you go, you mentioned that there is anticipation of protests as much as things look as they are, sort of interrupting the president's motorcade. I mean, where does that come from? And I know you have your confidential sources, you must protect them as it should be, but just listening to what the police said yesterday in regards to the expected demos, because this started on social media. Talk to me about that element, the demo element. Is it a huge concern? Is it something that Kenyans should be looking forward to today?
Kenyans should be looking forward to how other Kenyans who are already here in the CBD will exercise their constitutional right. It will be remembered that yesterday the police spokesperson, Dr. Rezila Onyango, issued a statement saying that today's demos, the people who are planning, they did not notify the officer commanding station as they are required to. And with that, the interpretation of that statement was that the police have outlawed the demonstrations which were supposed to take place today. Now, the thing that stands out the most is that they've been using the hashtag Occupy Parliament. It will be remembered that at the height of the anti-tax demos, one of the places where the protesters made their way is that they breached Parliament and made their way into Parliament to, make their feelings known to the parliamentarians and also to the government at large. And that is the hashtag that has been used to try and marshal support and to rally people to come out today. So it remains to be seen whether they will make their messages true, whether they will come out and indeed occupy Parliament as they have said that they will do. But what we've seen so far is that there are no protesters who've gathered here in the CBD. So maybe the numbers will swell as we approach towards that time where the president is supposed to make his way to Parliament. But the rally basically has been to occupy Parliament, and today the president will be in Parliament, because it will be remembered during when the Parliament buildings were breached and the protesters made their way, there were calls to occupy State House, but for some reason or the other, the protesters chose not to go to State House. So maybe today State House, the occupant of State House, that is the president, today comes to Parliament. So it remains to be seen whether the protesters will indeed occupy Parliament and occupy the president as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Fred Kagonye. We'll be getting back to you later on to see the development on what is going on in regards to the State of the Nation address, second one by President William Ruto. But right now, we want to head to Kiambu, where in Kiambu, there's a mixed expectation on the State of the Nation address, and these are Kiambu residents speaking. Let's listen in.
Na mimi natarajia raisi ataongea kuhusu mambo ya kuweka yani economy kuwe sawa, tupate pesa, kwa maana biashara zimeenda chini sana. Alituahidia kwanza atakapochukua serikali mambo itakuja kubadilika. Lakini sasa kwa sasa hivi tunaona mambo yanaendelea kuwa magumu, kazi imekuwa ngumu, hamna biashara, unakuja unafungua kazi yako lakini hakuna pesa unaweka kwa mfuko, watoto wanakaa njaa. Tunatarajia mambo kama hii ya SHA na SHI yenye hatuelewi atakuja kurekebisha, angalau turudishe hata kama ni NHIF inakuja kusaidia watu, kwa maana sasa tukiangalia nchi mahali yuko tuko pabaya. Tunatarajia kutakuwa na mabadiliko.
Kitu yenye ningependa kuuliza rais wetu ni kwamba wakati huu tumetosheka na kusema umetenga. Umenielewa? Sasa hizi aseme sasa tunatenda. Kutenga imeisha. Saa hizi sasa tunaelekea miaka 3 akiwa kwa mamlaka, na sasa aanze kutuambia sasa tunaanzia from point A mpaka point Z. Umenielewa? Ile yenye yote ameongea, ile yenye ametuambia serikali imefanya, serikali imetenga, sasa atuambie tunaanza hapa A tumalizie to Z.
Ile kitu hata akikuja kuongea kwa bunge, sioni kama kuna kitu ambaye ya kwamba ataongea iko na hakika itafanyika. Kwa sababu hata akiongea atatuahidi kitu ambaye haitafanyika. Kwa hivyo ni kuongea, ni kutenga, na hakuna kitu ambaye itafanyika. Kwa hivyo ikifika kwa bunge, ile kitu tumekuja kurealize ni ya kwamba bunge hakuna yeye venye anasema bunge iko kunyuma yake. Kwa hivyo hakuna kitu ambaye bunge itakuwa kinyume na yeye. Kwa hivyo kitu yote akitaka kufanya anapitia kwa bunge. Kitu yote akitaka kupitisha ni kwa bunge. Hata wabunge nao wajue ya kwamba siku inafika mwisho watupate kwa mashinani.
Very interesting text right there from residents in Kiambu County, and it raises quite an interesting discussion that we'll be having later on in regards to this State of the Nation address. Remember the first one that the president had, part of the legislators actually walked out. And right now we have a broad-based government, all accommodative. We'll be very keen to look at how the August House reacts to this. But right now we take a short break. We'll return with more. Remember, it's the State of the Nation address coverage on this wonderful day. Stay tuned.